I don't even know how else to start this video. This is a chart I've never shown on this YouTube channel. I'm going to start with this for context. I got this message from a buddy. Did you notice the similarities between this chart and altcoins? The 3x bumps are basically reflected on the ADA chart. I'm going to go over exactly what this means, but going back to the chart itself, let me just explain something to you as we start this video. Number one, I've never shown this chart before. This is the PMI chart. This is the Purchasing Managers Index. It basically measures the health of the economy by showing whether on the screen business activity is expanding or contracting. That's what's going on here. And if you look at this, this is going back quite some time. Now, we're going to talk about why I have these areas highlighted, but if you've been watching my videos lately, you've heard me nonstop talk about business cycles. This chart that you're looking at is a real-time picture of the business cycle. And this kind of just sideways consolidation action that we've been in for years right here, wait until you see when I overlay this on the Cardano chart. And this is a representation of altcoins. Cardano just, for whatever reason, does an exceptional job in terms of the synergy between the business cycle and the ADA price action. And again, this chart is showing when the economy is expanding and contracting. I've been talking nonstop about the Fed balance sheet. This is a massive driver behind the business cycles and what's happening right here. Quantitative tightening, getting ready to come to an end. Ray Dalio, the other day we covered this, stimulating into a bubble. I don't know about you, and I'm not saying go buy, or I'm not saying hold. I'm just saying from my perspective, as I evaluate macroeconomic data as it relates to what's happening in crypto right now, I'm so bullish, everybody, and I'm becoming more comfortable right now holding as a macro investor, and I think something big is getting ready to happen. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system with our risk models, hit the link below. Free trial right now. Get into our just all these risk models, all these altcoins, and look at risk. One of the drivers behind why I'm so incredibly bullish is the bullish divergence that we're starting to see in terms of low risk. Here's Cardano, 27. The bullish divergence versus things like Bitcoin dominance. We get the data from business cycle and what the Fed is doing, what's getting ready to happen. I know it's been extended. I know it's required a lot of kind of patience in terms of macro investors, but everybody, let me explain and let me go over what is going on right now. So let me just first start. If you haven't read Ray Dalio's post, go read it. Or a couple days ago, I did a video on it, stimulating into a bubble. So quantitative tightening, getting ready to come to an end, right? Literally December 1st. The last time this happened was pre-bull market last cycle, and this was July 2019. I've been talking nonstop about that. So here's the post that my buddy shared with me. There's no 4-year crypto cycle. Each cycle depends on the business cycle. Right now, the ISM PMI, a key business cycle indicator, has struggled to stay above 50 for 3 years. And you can see this. We're at 48 right now. Popped above 50 back here in January, popped above like right around 50 in March 2024. The post goes on. The main reason is that financial conditions have remained rather tight with rates, US dollar currency index, and oil sitting higher for longer. Until liquidity returns, risk assets will stay muted. And this is precisely what has happened. But until liquidity returns. And I'm not saying it's returning tomorrow, everybody, but stimulating into a bubble, this is what is getting ready to happen. This is what I've been discussing in all of my videos. Quantitative tightening coming to an end in December. I want to make one note. In July 2019, it was announced to come to an end, and it was actually right around here in September, quantitative tightening ended. If you look at, an altcoin, we can go to look at ADA real quick because we're going to use ADA in this video. But if you go actually look at the altcoin charts, notice in September 2019, when quantitative tightening ended, we still saw consolidation. So keep that in mind. There's room. I'm so bullish on the macro. There's room for consolidation, right? But what will be so interesting is to watch this chart. So as you know, I've been covering, and I'm about to overlay this on the Cardano chart. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But as context, again, I've been talking about the Fed is the main driver behind business cycles, right? So they're either tightening, which is they're reducing liquidity, and this is what we've been in for years, or they're easing. And that means they're expanding liquidity. And the way that this chart has operated, especially this cycle and this bear market and even the consolidation we've seen sideways in crypto, people frustrated, it really does prove this old 4-year cycle theory idea, it really is, it's outdated. And so altcoins essentially are moving with business cycle rotations, and they're moving as the Fed liquidity shifts. And so this isn't just 4-year cycles. It's not that easy. But now we're having just really nicely illustrated data that is showing this, right? It's literally a visual representation. This is the Fed balance sheet, but here's the PMI chart. It's a visual representation of the business cycle itself. And so if the current phase follows now, we can do some kind of breakdown on previous cycles, the bull cycles. If this current phase follows previous cycles, when this business cycle chart expands, because that's what this is, these are bull markets. And back here, since altcoins weren't very prevalent, this is a Bitcoin bull market. Look what it was doing. Do you see how insanely, I don't want to use the word obvious, there are absolutely no guarantees, especially with the way things are right now. They kind of tend to be all over the place, and we just don't know. But can you see how we might be on the verge of a breakout? Considering what Jerome Powell is saying. That's the thing. Considering the hints, the clues, and just really the straight out just explaining to us what's about to happen. QT coming to an end. Can you see? Let's go look at an ADA chart. Here's ADA chart. And let me just first explain. It's going to be, when I overlay it, it's crazy. But let me just first explain. I've been impressed that even through QT, something like ADA has been in a higher high, higher low environment. It's been, frustration along the way. I get it. We don't need to harp on that. But the structure that's been forming this cycle, even compared to last cycle, has been really cool to track. The technicals have been really cool to track. We're waiting for really big breakout moments and indicators from a price action perspective. But again, it's this liquidity going from contraction to expansion like it did last cycle here. This is what's getting ready to happen right now. And we're seeing hints that that's about to happen all over the place. Ray Dalio, again, worth like $15 billion or something like that, right around there. And a really just seasoned investor, successful. So let's go to the ADA chart. Let me overlay that business cycle chart. And here's what it looks like. Look at this chart, everybody. It's crazy. So when we look at that, when we evaluate what ADA has been doing with this price action, it's been absolutely in line. And I'm not just talking this cycle right now, but the last bull cycle, going into that bear cycle, last cycle. Look at this. The business cycle, Fed policy, a driver behind this green line that you see right here. So again, this is the PMI chart that we kind of started this video with, and this is the ADA chart overlaid. So you can talk about 4-year cycle. You can say we passed the time of a bull market because 4-year cycle. It doesn't make sense when you start bringing into play real macroeconomic data and drivers. And so if you're just a fundamental value investor in not even just crypto, but within crypto, this is such valuable data just to understand and to know. And again, I'm not sitting here saying, boom, next week, this thing's going crazy. But what I am saying is we are getting hints that this business cycle chart might actually go into expansion. And so when you see something like this ADA chart and what it's done throughout the cycles, what do you think could happen next for something like ADA and something like altcoins? I actually should have overlaid it on this chart too. This is the altcoin market cap chart. We'd get something very similar. But you can even see, the kind of consolidations that we have here on this chart are very similar to ADA. It's just a little bit a different reflection of it. The rhythm isn't so in line as it is with ADA and the business cycle. So I don't want to make this terribly long. We can dissect this in so many different ways, everybody, and we can find just even records on something like a Bitcoin dominance chart, maybe that's a good video to do as well. What's going on over there and the business cycle. I actually might do a video next on that. But everybody, again, no clue what will happen. But as I evaluate this data and I see what Fed is about to do, and I think we're getting very strong hints of what's going to happen here in terms of a potential expansion, I'm just hanging out. We might get more dip. I don't know. But I'm just hanging out, everybody. So let me know your thoughts. If you're not in our intelligence system, hit the trial. If we get expansion, imagine Cardano going into a bull market like it did last cycle or 2 cycles ago, getting alerted to your phone, text message. We're getting into high risk territory, 70s, 80s, 90s. You know when to exit without emotion. You can go back here, start planning, everybody. I'm so excited about our system. Go into our exit planner. Here's a Bitcoin page, right? You can start planning, speculating on Bitcoin price when you want to exit, as well as the other altcoins are back there. But then you switch it to risk mode and you're like, you know what? I want to set my exits based on certain risk areas. I want to get alerted. So you have the kind of the confluence of your own speculation, but more of an unemotional, data-based, risk-based exit plan. So get back there, hit the trial below. If you don't like it, just cancel before the trial is over. But we're hustling. We're trying to build this system and continuing to add features to it. So appreciate all of you watching. I hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. God bless.